heaven, he makes a claim that at the age of 45, it is too early to die for him. Saint Peter looks in his eye and says, well, based on the hours you have billed your clients, you're 98. Well, now the joke's on Jeremy, because I'm still going to talk about legal matters of the J. Yes. Mike, okay, sorry. Because I'm still going to talk about legal matters, being myself just a bit over 60 years old. So, where did we came from and where we are going? Crowdfunding. I will speak about Estonia because Estonia is known as like digital nomads, and everything good starts from Estonia in digital space. So crowdfunding project first in Estonia, basically it's first in Europe, it was 2012. It was a little small project, just like a Kickstarter today, aimed to help start some small projects like music videos, art collections, and so on. But it really grew in next 4 years, and by 2017, EU market reached 1 billion euros. This means that the people from Europe, basically, you can say, put the money in different projects for more than 1 billion euro. In Estonia, at the same time, there was a record, which it still holds, one project of 1.5 million euros. But just a small comment, Estonia is a really small country. There is like 1.3 million people there. So basically each Estonian gave 1 euro. So imagine if each people from your nations, where are you from, gave $1 to Daisy. Yeah? It won't be a small amount. But again, the conventional financial system saw that something is emerging, and there is a lot of money. And they wanted to have regulations. And they succeeded, because in 2020, there was an introduction of unified European Union rules. Fortunately, they gave 1.5 years to comply with it, but it basically means that every platform who wants to be uplifting other projects, they have to be licensed. And the license finally kicks in the end of this year, but it is not any big worry for us, because the projects which are already running, they do not have to have license right away, they have time. So the main limitation of our new rules is that a one project, not the platform itself, but the project which lists on the platform, cannot raise more than 5 million euros. So for a smaller project, it is not a really problem, but imagine we would have same limitation with Endotech, yeah? Impossible to do. Fortunately, we started before the regulations kicked in. So again, no problem on this side. So what do we have with virtual currency? In the legal world, we call it virtual currency, but we all know it as a crypto. So the picture was quite similar. Estonia was the first country regulating crypto. I mean, in Europe, they didn't even have start to think about that we need to regulate it. Estonia was already issuing a licenses. So you could have a license if you provide exchange service or if you provide a wallet service. And it began to grow. In a couple of years, we had 400 virtual asset service providers, 400 different projects which wanted to have a stamp that we are licensed. Having such a stamp raises your credibility. Of course, we had a lot of scammers, a lot of problematic projects, and that's why Estonia started to regulate it. They tightened the screws, but it didn't like any big impact on the market. It just made it a little bit more hard, but it literally was just filling up the form, paying like 3,000 euros, waiting 30 days, and you're a licensed company. Well, sounds a bit too easy for a licensed company, but that was the case. By the 2018, actually started from Estonia, because Estonia became like crypto Wild West. I mean, in Estonia you can be Estonian resident, applying online. You can make company online. You can open bank online. I mean, now you can buy a house online, just a little bit more, and you can marry also online. And the problem of that is that the government didn't know who is running the business, what is the business, where the money comes from, where the money goes. And those 4 words, AMLD, was the perfect platform for them to invite the new rules. Anti-money laundering directive. So they said, the crypto is really open for money laundering, we need to tighten the screws. And by 2018, a unified rules in Europe emerged, and they came from money laundering rules. By that time, the value of assets passing through only Estonian companies, I remind you, 1.3 billion or a million people, only through Estonian companies, the revenue was more than 2 billion euros. The whole Europe number, nobody knows, but it's tens of billions of euros. And again, conventional financial system started worrying, and the money laundering was a good platform to demand new rules. And 2022, the new unified rules in Europe kicked in. If one would like to apply for license today, it is basically the same conditions as you would like to establish like an investment firm, or you want to have a payment institution. So the aim of those rules in Europe are to keep away the bad guys and to have regulated and reliable players on the market, so the good guys. And let's now come to our project. What is the EASY project? The first time we spoke with Jeremy, he explained to me and said that this is this. I said, no, Jeremy, it's not. Yes, it is. Well, he likes this example. If you call a strawberry banana, it's still a strawberry. Yeah? You cannot fool the system. So, we have an aspects from virtual currency projects, we have aspects from crowdfunding projects, and I mean, we have aspects from the regular financial projects also. So, where do we put ourselves? Which licenses do we apply? Where do we structure? And for me, the most fascinating part is that you don't have an exact one answer, which means you have to shuffle all over the world, find the best jurisdictions, find the best rules, and put it together as a whole. So for you guys, it will be just a back office, convenient, putting your crypto in putting money in different projects, buying NFTs, but on the back office of your back office, there are several companies, several licenses, because those guys are really about integrity. So they say to me, whatever it costs, we have to comply with all rules. And not to be into details, but what are we currently doing is that due to the European rules, we are restructuring our crowdfunding model. We are going to move it probably here to Dubai, because the last week the Sheikh finally signed the new bill on crowdfunding. There are some limitations, but they won't be a problem to uplift them. We're also finalizing Endotech equity structure, because at some point the initial crowdfunding will end and we will move forward. And as promised to all of you, an equity will be distributed and you will be able to say, not and even to show, that you are the actual shareholders of Endotech. And again, the most interesting point for me is we are preparing the transformation to so-called retail model. Yeah? This means that we are structuring the project this way, that we want to be in the regulation matter as high as possible, but on entry level as low as possible. So the retail client person having only $10 in the pocket, he can come in and enjoy the benefits of those structures, which has like threshold of like $100,000, $500,000, yeah? And this is really, really interesting. I won't elaborate on the details, but I mean, after we finalize this structure and this model, the limits are off, literally speaking. We can engage the whole world, any jurisdiction, without any kind of limitation. So, yeah. Oh, actually, one E dropped away. That's why. There are two E's. No worries. So, that's it from my part. Thank you very much. And I hope you were able to keep your eyes open for the legal matters.